Huh. So that was an announcement today, huh? We got quite a bit of news from Wizards of the Coast today. Lots of new creatures, legendary creatures that we can gush about here in the Commander Sphere. Some Dungeons and Dragons stuff, which who knows may play a part in the future of content here, maybe. And yeah, just Dominaria United, huh? I'm going to do a whole video on everything that was, well, most things that were announced today, especially when it comes to Dominaria United. But I'm in the middle of creating a deck for every monocolor command. Well, not every monocolor commander, excuse me. Every color that I can, I'm trying to make a monocolor deck for. So we have Rick for mono white. We have Kosi for mono green. We have that mono red creature from the old Dungeons and Dragons set that makes copies of stuff, whose name I forget right now. That leaves black and blue. I haven't really found a mono black commander that I've been super excited about until today. And I'm sure you can guess who we're going to talk about. So we're going to do a quick dive into Sheoldred the Apocalypse and just some cool cards that I think are going to work really well. Some obvious cards that I think are going to work really well, but then maybe some things that you may not have thought of. Let's check it out. Let's check it out. This has been like the 6th time I've said let's check it out. We're gonna go. Let's go. All right, so we're talking about Sheoldred the Apocalypse, just announced today from the set Dominaria United. Sheoldred is a 4/5 creature for 2 black, which is already stunning. And then she has Death Touch. Whenever you draw a card, you gain 2 life, and whenever an opponent draws a card, they lose 2 life. So this is really akin to the Nekusar kind of subtype. People really love Nekusar, and obviously that has a spot on its own, but this is kind of forcing you into a draw / opponent draw kind of theme, which again, Nekusar does, but this can be a little bit more streamlined, I think. There's not a lot of variance here. So where I want to go with this is I want to force people to draw as many cards as possible. Let me gain life, let you lose life, and then just kind of bring it home that way. So let's take a look at some of the cards I think are going to go really well with Sheoldred. So first off, this is a Demon Spirit from the original Kamigawa, Saison, Perverter of Truth. 3 black for a 6/5. At the beginning of each player's upkeep, that player loses 2 life and draws 2 cards. So they're already losing 2 life, and then they're going to lose another 4 life if Sheoldred's on the battlefield. That's just really good. And with me, I'm going to lose the 2 life, but then I may immediately gain 4 life, so you're negating that right away. So Saison just seems like a no-brainer in this deck. The next one we have is from the new Dungeons and Dragons set, Elder Brain, 5 black for a 6/6 with Menace. Whenever Elder Brain attacks a player, exile all cards from that player's hand. Then they draw that many cards, and you may play lands and cast spells from among the exiled cards for as long as they remain exiled. If you cast a spell this way, you may spend mana or mana of any color to cast it. That's just icing on the cake, but we want to make people exile their hands and then draw new ones. Especially with Sheoldred out, that could be a ton of damage. So Elder Brain, really good in this deck, I think, and it's something that we're going to want to look into. All right, the next 2 here are things that actually go really well in Nekusar that seem like no-brainers here. And there's a few different effects like this that we're gonna bring up here, but these are the creature ones. Fate Unraveler, 3 and a black for a 3/4 hag. Whenever an opponent draws a card, Fate Unraveler deals 1 damage to that player. So just adding on extra damage for the draws. So the next one here is a Planeswalker, not actually a creature. Ob Nixilis the Hate Twisted, 3 black for a Planeswalker from War of the Spark. Whenever an opponent draws a card, Ob Nixilis the Hate Twisted deals 1 damage to that player. Again, just adding another damage to the Sheoldred stack here. And then you can destroy target creature. Its controller draws 2 cards for -2. Drawing cards for your opponents is a good thing in this deck. So, Ob Nixilis, welcome. Then we have Underworld Dreams. It's an enchantment for triple black. Whenever an opponent draws a card, Underworld Dreams deals 1 damage to that player. So you can see a theme here. We just want people to draw as many cards as possible and deal as much damage as possible to them. And then for people having all those cards, there's going to be some repercussions for having those cards in your hand. You got to discard those cards. So Megrim here is an enchantment for 2 and a black. Whenever an opponent discards a card, Megrim deals 2 damage to that player. Seems like a no-brainer. Then you get another enchantment here for punishing opponents having cards in hand, or lots of cards in hand. 6 and a black for Price of Knowledge, the enchantment. Players have no maximum hand size. At the beginning of each opponent's upkeep, Price of Knowledge deals damage to that player equal to the number of cards that player's hand. So if they're just drawing a bunch of cards and thinking, oh, this is great, I'm taking some damage, but I got all these cards, you drop Price of Knowledge, they're going to have a bad time. Now, how can we force people to draw cards besides the ones they draw on their turn? So glad you asked. There are a few staple cards that you've seen probably before. Here are some of those now. Howling Mine is an artifact for 2 mana. Beginning of each player's draw step, if Howling Mine is untapped, that player draws an additional card. Okay. All right, next up is another artifact you're probably familiar with, Bond of Mixos. It's a 4 mana artifact. Beginning of each player's draw step, that player draws 2 additional cards. You can see the theme here. I don't think I need to keep talking about it. And then to round out the artifacts here, we have Temple Bell for 3. You can tap it, each player draws a card, just getting some extra damage in if Sheoldred is out. Then we have things like Damnable Pact, X black black for a sorcery. Target player draws X cards and loses X life. This, I think, is just going to end games for the most part. At least it's going to kill one player, which is kind of the goal here. And then we have Dark Deal, another sorcery for 2 and a black. Each player discards all the cards in his or her hand, then draws that many cards -1. Force draw, again, kind of where we're shooting for here. I think, once again, you see the trajectory we're trying to get at. And then lastly, another sorcery that can easily kill a player, Peer into the Abyss. I just learned about this card. Thank you, Ricky, Donnie, and everybody else who reminded me about it. Peer into the Abyss, 4 black 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 for sorcery. Target player draws cards equal to half the number of cards in their library, and it loses half their life. Round up each time. So yeah, that's it. I think I'm going to take this in like a mono black force draw kind of deck. Like, I'm going to try to find all the cards that make you, my opponent, draw cards, because I want you to take all the damage in the world. And if I can just annihilate people because I forced them to draw cards, like, it's supposed to be your friend, I turned it into your enemy. Now what? I hope you enjoyed this. Like I said, I'm going to have a video out of all of the things that they talked about in today's event. So expect to see that soon. But for now, just a little thing to wet the palate, a little quick take. There's the words for you. I hope you enjoyed it. And as always, thank you to my affiliates. We have Pinfinity. So if you're looking for high quality AR pins, you can use my link, that TCG guy, at checkout to get 20% off of your entire order or 20% off of your first subscription. And you can check out Wormwood Gaming. If you use my code, that TCG guy, at checkout, you get free domestic shipping anywhere in the US, which is pretty freaking sweet. So thanks a lot, guys. I'll catch you later. We'll see you in the next one.